back in the building.
Hey y'all.
KWK Conversations with Core and T'Farri Solutions. Happy Thursday, the 18th, June 18th. Man,
Yeah,
the last time I guess the last time we recognized time, it was January.
January. Excuse me.
That means time is flying. That's what that meant. Because
Well, we are
we
definitely
already in June, 6 months into the year.
the halfway mark.
You know what I
Definitely
mean?
at the halfway
So
mark.
so today we talking about kind of a still a continuation of things. If you think about the episodes we've been talking about, but the last one was decisions, right? How decisions believe decisions and decisions follow decisions, etc. Right? Today's topic we're going to be talking about real high level stuff. But success lies in the details or lives in the details, right? Consequences
Mhm.
do too. So what does that mean, right? And so here I was thinking the other day,
Mhm.
like, because entrepreneurship, small business owner, founder, whatever word you want to use for yourself, entrepreneur, as you continue your journey or as the journey is continued, you keep finding yourself refining certain aspects of what you do, what your business does, who your clients are,
Absolutely.
those
Absolutely.
finite details, right? And
Yeah.
so along the way, you realize like, and this is a question too, right?
Mhm.
Um, um, what small thing turned out to be the whole thing, right?
Ooh, that's good.
You know what I mean? Like what typo, what missed follow up call or email, right? What number that wasn't checked or verified, whether it be an invoice or a fee or something like that. You know, um, it wasn't about the side note of it. That was the outcome of it.
Mhm.
What's your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah. So I would say a major turning point for me, as far as like a small thing that turned out to be a big thing, and that was getting a scheduling system put in place. Um, it seems so small to like just set up your Calendly or whatever appointment type of scheduling system that you use, but it turned to be so big because it saved me so much time. So instead of going back and forth, like, okay, what time works best for you? Okay, what time? No, that doesn't work for me. What works best for you? It was just send the link, schedule. Feel free to look at my calendar and schedule there. And, being as many years as I'm in the game now, a lot of people can look at it, and it ain't a decade or nothing, but a lot of people can look at it like, oh, that's nothing. But when you're first starting, and even some people who aren't just first starting, is what I've realized is that you forget or you don't, the more you value your time, the more you're going to try to find ways to get it back, is what I'm saying. So when I did that scheduling and all I got to send is a link now, if you're trying to meet with me, that changed the game for me. That changed it. I got some more of my time back.
Nice, nice. How about time blocking? You do time block on your calendar as well?
I do. The mastering the calendar it seems like to some it can seem small, but that is a huge impact on your business. And so what this year, I think I got hooked on to blocking calls, like do not disturb, and that has changed the game for me as well. So for a certain time, it's going straight to voicemail because I just
Right,
I don't have the time to be looking to see, okay, who is that? Somebody I want to talk to, don't want to talk to, and be
right,
tempted. Now it's like I don't
right,
hear nothing, no distractions.
right.
So yeah, definitely some of those things. Mastering my schedule changed the game. A lot of entrepreneurs, and just people in general, they want things, but they struggle simply because they have not decided to take control of their time. They are reactive instead of proactive, so they kind of mosey around the day and kind of see what's going to come up or who might need them for something instead of like already having it structured. This is what I'm doing today. And I typically look at the night before to plan for the next day. Um, so you gotta have
There's a
a
strategy. There's a strategy around doing it from the night before. You know why?
why.
Because you're not gonna waste time. You're ready to go to bed.
That's true.
So you're
That's
gonna cut
true.
out. You're gonna cut
That's
out a
true.
lot of the bull. Maybe I'll do this. Oh, this is else I gotta do. Like everything becomes a priority during the day, right? Or when there's no sense of urgency. But you do it the night before, 30 minutes prior to you getting ready to lay down. Like you're like you're here,
Yeah.
right? And you work on your to-do list for the next day. Guarantee you it's gonna be short and concise.
Absolute game changer. If you're trying
You
to
know
get
what I
some stuff
mean?
done,
Yeah,
follow that
yeah,
system and method. You'll see a huge difference in your productivity.
absolutely, absolutely. And so again, that just lends itself to what we're talking about, right? It's in the details. The details could win or the details could lose. They say the devil's in the
Absolutely.
details, but that's if you don't pay attention to the details, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you pay as much attention to the details and you still didn't get it right. So there's a lesson there. But as long as you're putting your best foot forward to try to pay attention to the details, hey, at that point nothing's perfect, but you still get an opportunity to taking that information is giving you to so you could correct for the next opportunity, right? And so that
Yes.
kind of leads into we're going to talk about this in different parts of today, but that kind of leads into there's an event today.
There is an event today.
So there's
Rude.
two sides to this event, right? Or this
Yes.
conversation. So we have the Roots event that is happening today, right? And
Yes.
then and in planning, there's planning and then there's the enjoyment of, right? So there's one
Woo.
side internal, there's the other side external, right? And so there's the success lies in the detail of the planning and development and the execution of that event, right? But
Yeah.
the other side is for those that we want to have the experience, right? And so when you think
Mhm.
about it, right, I wrote down some stuff here. I wrote down some things. I think the goal here is to, with roots, and I'll let you explain the whole, you go into it, right?
Mhm.
But the whole goal is here is what isolation are you in? Not knowing who or what else is working on similar things or sitting on unused connections. It's number one,
Ooh.
right? Number
Mm.
two is this event will help to supposedly help to find out what clarity do people walk away with, right?
Mm.
That they couldn't see before, right? So those are my two thoughts. You can turn them into question statements, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
What you
I mean,
got?
I really something that stood out to me is the untapped connections. I remember one day I had to just sit down on a piece of paper. I wrote my name in the middle and I had to just think about all the categories of things I needed help with my business. And then I had to think about all the people who I already know are a master at these particular categories. So, for example, like marketing, I know so many public relations specialists, so many marketing, social media folks, and sometimes we can not be productive or getting stuff done because we're like, well, I just need to get it done myself. I'm working on it. Instead of thinking like, well, who do I know that can help me with this? Because God, I believe God has given us everything that we need. Sometimes we forget, a lot of times we forget, but we've already have what we need around us. We just can't forget to tap in. So that's the flyer right there. This is not going to be no million man march, but we are going to be making some impact just like it. Um, and so I think it's just one of those things is just remembering what God has already provided you with. And then think about like how it helps you and then how you can help somebody else. So one of the things that I share with folks attending as they're preparing for the event is not just think about what you can take out of this situation, out of this event, but what also can you give? What can you contribute? Because when we talk about getting rooted and we talk about planting seeds and things like that, like there's an exchange. You take care of the plant take care of you. So you have to be willing to make an exchange. No matter what you do, because it's all an exchange, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even from getting gas, going to the grocery store, like you're exchanging currency, like whatever you do is an exchange of energies. And so
So
I
that's
think
I want to segue right there.
I
Can I
know you do.
segue?
I threw that
Can
heli
I?
hoop. I
Okay,
knew it.
cool. Because you talking about what was the word you just used?
Exchange of energies.
Right. So um our special guest that's here, I want to synergize some energies here, right? So we can expand on this conversation while we have the time to. So I want to bring to the stage and introduce my good brother of ours, Mr. CJ Broderick, President
CJ.
and CEO of the Greater Durham Black Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, CJ
No
Broderick.
problem. What's going on?
How you doing, my
Salute,
brother?
salute, salute to both of y'all.
Yeah,
Hey,
good to see
salute to
you.
you too, man. You
Yes,
know,
yes,
salute to
indeed.
you.
I can't wait
You're
to see y'all.
connected.
I can't wait to see y'all later in the element when y'all
Yeah,
all the work y'all been putting in. I can't wait to see you shining and and all those things later.
No,
yeah.
we all
You're
gonna be shining. It's gonna be
you're
beautiful.
a power connector, my brother. You know that, right? I
That's
don't
what,
think you woke up
that's what
thinking
it's all
that,
about. That's what it's
huh?
all about.
All right, definitely. So we talking about today. So Temet was in the middle of talking through um energy, right? Connection, synergy, right? All of those words that come together. But the topic of the show is success lies or lives in the details, consequences due to, right? I'm sure you heard some of the commentary we talked about. So Temet, I'm gonna let you finish your statement, and then CJ, feel free to chime in with your thoughts.
Finish my statement. What was I?
Yeah.
What did I even say? Just the
So we talking
exchange.
about roots. There's roots.
Okay,
Roots.
so when you come into Roots, we talked to, I sent out a message to folks attending just to say, be ready to give something. If you come ready to give, it's gonna come back to you. It's gonna come back, whether it comes back through that person or someone else. When you're ready to show up to give, and how to be a solution to someone else to help them solve their problems, people are like, oh, wow, you actually care. Like, I didn't do anything for you to be so generous, but you are. And that's things like that can make you memorable. It makes folks want to return the favor back. But if you're just coming, just, hey, what can I take? Okay, you're not the customer for me. Let me move on. Um, there's different seasons for everything. So the same person who you might turn your nose up may be the same person you got to ask for a glass of water one day. As my mom would say, on your deathbed, you might need that same person to pass you a glass of water. So I think it's one of those things where, just getting back to humanity, sometimes things are very transactional. Um, Folks can feel like, well, you didn't do this for me, you didn't show up here for me, so why am I supposed to show up for you? And I think we have to be mindful of when we get into that attitude of transactional relationships, um just because I think they can really kind of have a ripple effect into the bigger picture of the impact that we're looking to make. I think, yes, use discernment, yes, use wisdom. But again, you never know when you might need that person. And so if time permits, if it's, you're able, why not show up if you can, when you can?
Mm,
What
good
do y'all
stuff.
think about
Now,
that? Do y'all how do y'all feel about that? Like, you guys are both leaders and, great organization in a great organization and many others. And so what does this exchange look like, as how do you strengthen your community as lean on people and people look to lean on you? How do you continue to foster these relationships without them being so transactional but relational? Is that, hey, we go out to lunch, we go out to coffee? Is that, hey, just checking in, sending you a message to say how you doing, or I'm praying for you, I hope you and the family are well? Like, how do y'all continue to foster? And because y'all know a lot of folks, y'all been in this for a minute. And I know some relationships, they stay, and some folks you don't know 20 and 30 years. So how do y'all keep that going in a world where we're so busy, we're called so many different places? What are some tips y'all have?
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
I'll speak to one or two angles of it, and because it's so much, I can't probably grab the whole thing. But I think one of the biggest things I think is taking care of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you always got to make sure you find time to really do the work you need to do to make sure you have capacity. One of my biggest words in these last 15 years has been capacity, right? Like, make time for you. Make sure you really have a chance to really understand and study yourself. Like, who am I? What do I need? What do I want? Where am I going?
That's true.
All those things. I think that's important, right? But the other thing I'll say that I think is maybe, I don't know if this is the answer you want, but one of the challenges I find in this space is that most times people don't spend enough time with themselves and their businesses to know what they really need, right? And so as you're trying to help them, earnestly, right, or whatever, it's like it's really hard. It's like, they're like, man, everything's messed up, jacked up. Like, okay, let me help you here. This is where they're like, no, not there, over here. No, not there, over here. And it's like, before you know it, they're just like, no, I don't trust you because the last person, and it's like, whoa. And so it's like people haven't taken the time to often to really, and so I think that's a big part of the equation that we often don't talk about.
That's true.
It's everybody taking the time to really like figure out exactly where they're trying to go, how fast they're trying to get there, and and what they need help with right now. Because I think a lot of times in a role like mine, I think that old adage about you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like it becomes very, very true, because sometimes the horse is like, man, I want water. I want some wine. Why are we over here?
Why is the water muddy? I want clear water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's such a good point that I didn't even think about when you talk about building the community. Like, you need to start with yourself and get yourself right. Get your mind right. Your needs, your wants, get that understood. So then you can show up and be a better person for other folks. And that's one of the things we talk about. One of the themes and the pillars that we're on when it comes to Roots this year is talking about character, relationships, and systems. And I know for me, before I jumped into entrepreneurship, there was a lot of inside work I needed to do first to get grounded and establish a stronger foundation. So I did therapy, I did coaching, I still do therapy, and I still do coaching, right? Because these are ongoing things that are essential and critical when it comes to being able to show up for other folks. You gotta be solid within you first. So that's good. Good point.
Makes sense. I mean, for me, I agree to everything that both of you guys are saying. It's about personal development. Givers will always be givers, but a question that was asked to me a long time ago is, are you good at receiving help, support, right? Because you could be a good giver, but you're not really good at receiving, the help and support that's needed, right? And you got to kind of ponder that really quickly, because then there's another perspective or two sides to even that question itself, right?
What's the two
So,
sides of that question?
well, the one side is if you're a good giver, are you good at receiving help and or support? The first question becomes, um, who are you surrounded to receive the right support that you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other question is, are you limiting your own growth to I guess to familiarity, right? Because you could be surrounded by a community or environment that is at a ceiling height already that you might be familiar, comfortable, complacent with, right? And you can get the support from that area, but then you
Mm-hmm.
stay small, right? So
But how
you
do you
limit
break
your
that
growth.
ceiling? How do you
Say
break
that
that
again.
ceiling and go to this upper level? I have some thoughts, but I want to
Good
know your.
question. Good question. Good question. Good. So those are the two questions, right? That you ask yourself. So how do I break that? Well, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, not knowing what you don't know. You have to know that you don't know it, and you have to go and sit in a place where other people know it so you can absorb it. You have to be a sponge. So you got to be comfortable being the sponge instead of the water,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then understanding, certain situations dictate the rules on how you move, right? And so, and it is uncomfortable, but for me, uncomfortable is kind of like it's kind of all right because I know on the other side of that, I'm about to be stronger,
Once you
right?
get your nervous system under control, you
Yeah.
stop freaking out. You're like, oh, okay, it's not that
Yeah.
bad.
It's like, I need to be, because then you start looking for being in places of uncomfortability because you already
Yes,
know you
that's
need to grow,
true.
right? So I've been playing with this statement the last week. I've just been flinging it off to everybody I know, family and friends. And the statement is, uh, if the trees forget, the roots will remember.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the
I
roots
like
know
that.
that it still has to grow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I
You
mean?
know, when I think about like you mentioned, just getting into these uncomfortable spaces, um, I think you just really gotta be um like you said, just willing and ready to step out there. Because I'm like, how do I get around? But this is another thing I heard. Like when you talk about getting to a new level, I think again it comes down to like what are you willing to give? So I remember I went to this conference one time and they had like millionaires there speaking and things like that. And I said, well, how do you get in the room with other millionaires? Like, how does this like where do y'all promote? Where do y'all be at? How do you be knowing, these events are going on? And they're like, well, you got to be willing to spend some money. For one, you have to be willing to give something to get something. And I was like, well, yeah, because I think a lot of times we want to attend all the free networking events and the free this and free that and low cost this and low cost that. And sometimes, what you put in is what you'll get out. Now, if you spend two, $3,000, $4,000 to go somewhere, well, yeah, you're gonna be in a whole nother room. So sometimes I think fear gets a hold of us like, hey, is it worth the investment? And of course, with due diligence of research and discernment again and wisdom, like you'll know that it's worth. And I remember when I first made my, a big to me,
Your
it felt
first
like
million, made your first million. See,
not yet.
we
You on the way.
look. I'm gonna give you the name of a group. I want you to pay $1 million for me. See, you give her yours, so we could get in the room.
Nah, I be telling people I am a millionaire. I'm just waiting on some folks to die.
Oh wow,
I know it's bad.
understood.
Um, but it's that generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? They've been working on it. They've been working
No
on
doubt, no doubt,
it.
no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. No doubt. Hey, see, I'm gonna give you the chance. Here's a question, right? That we asked in the beginning. What small thing turned out to be the whole thing? if we're talking about success, lives in the details.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it already. The magic word is capacity, right? I
So
mean,
you bumped up against capacity and realized that that was that small thing was the whole thing.
I think So I mean, it's been my anchor word for the last again 15, 20 years, right? Like
Hmm.
if you're an entrepreneur and you want to be better, you want your business to do better. Well, you got 168 hours a week, right? Like how are you spending that time, right? How are you making sure that you're investing in your growth and your business's growth, right? And I think I know that we have needs, we got things we got to do to make money, to do things, and we got to sell some time here and there. But I think one of the key things is capacity. Are you making time to really like do the things you got to do when you got to do them to make it make sense, right? To get the rewards, right? Are you planting the seeds, you know? And so I think for me that's the biggest thing, right? And as we talk about other you can layer the word right with emotional capacity, then your strategic capacity, right? You got to build all of those things,
Mhm.
right? Your capacity, for tolerance, for discomfort, right?
Mhm.
you know s- uh,
Mhm.
Half the time people miss out on a lot of stuff because they got too tired too fast. They spent 1 hour or 2 hours this week working on their business when it should have been five, right? You know,
Hmm.
so they never, and so if being the best version of yourself requires 20 hours a week from you, right? But you only spending three,
Mm.
then it's difficult to be the best version of yourself. No, I'm talking about this is internal, right?
Mhm.
If your business requires 20 hours a week and you're giving it 18, you really won't ever know. And so
Right.
end up cheating yourself, you end up cheating your business, and then you never know what could be, right? So
Right.
That's
Right.
good.
so I think that for me, I think again that it's been and again the for me, some of the biggest spaces I sit in, the tolerance for discomfort, I feel like I'm like, man, like your emotional, your capacity for tolerance is just not there, right? And so, but sometimes, I'll be in spaces, and the most successful people that I see, they're like, yeah, like whatever we need, I got it. You need 100 hours, here you go. You need 100, whatever, here you go, here you go, here you go, right? So I think it's about building our capacity. So I try to guard my time, my energy, as best as I can. I try to be as generous as I can, but also try to guard as much as I can because I know that capacity is the biggest thing you can have and give.
No, that's good, man. That brings me to this book,
Mhm.
um, "The One Thing" by Gary Keller. Really great book. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. I read it on a 6 hour flight one time. Have it on my bookshelf here. Um, and everything he talks about in the book all boils down to the one thing. What is the one thing that you want out of life? What is the one thing that you need? What is the one thing that you have to focus on? Because everything
Mhm.
tied, let that be the end, and then you walk back to get to chop down those things to get to that one thing. And I like that word capacity, right? You put that's a t-shirt, you put that on a t-shirt. And focusing on the capacity, and then it could spider web off into those other areas, like you said, which will give you a little bit more depth on what those core areas you should probably focus on. I like that. That's an extended conversation for another time as well. T, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I done lost my train of thought,
Uh
but
oh.
I know.
Uh-oh.
I
That's
think
because
it
your
was
brain is someplace else. Your brain is on roots.
nah. It's lunchtime and I missed lunch.
Oh,
But but just thinking about how you had it set up as far as you know watching your time and protecting it, that that leads me into the second part, now that you brought up roots, is relationships, and how the wrong relationships can really rob you of that time you're supposed to be putting into your business. And so you really have to be intentional and mindful to the folks you're connected to, because everything that's good is not great. I say that all the time. So it could be good people that mean well, but if they're taking away from what you know you're supposed to be doing for your business, I think that's when you have to kind of play that defense. So there's this game of offense and defense in business where sometimes you can be like, yeah, we're just going to take some shots, see how it goes. But sometimes it has to be like, nope, you can only come but so far. So, that's why I felt like these three things, especially as we go into the second half of the year, character, relationships, and systems, is just so critical, is what I found on my journey. It's so critical, and it's something I'm still working on, to be honest. And I think it's something that we all should continuously be working on. How can I be a better person? How can I create better systems? Consistently assessing and evaluating the relationships. If you look at your call list and just looking at the top 5 people you talk to the most, how do these people contribute or take away from what you're supposed to be doing? And just assessing that, and again creating those boundaries, healthy boundaries that will help you to stay focused and execute. um, what other boundaries may need to be set up within that. So
Yeah, nice, nice. Thank you. That's some good thoughts there. CJ, you got any thoughts? Anything you want to talk about with the chamber? We normally pay our bills at the end of the show, but I'll pay a bill right now. um, you know,
You guys are good
um,
with these flyers that just pop up on your thing. You guys are really good with that. God,
that's
God.
the OG right there.
you know what I mean. Let's talk
Stay ready.
about some GDBCC updates information, if you will. What do you have?
Yeah, man. I think I'll do a quick promo. As an organization, we're about 20 years old, or, a little less than 20 years old, and we exist to support Black entrepreneurs, their businesses, in a Black business ecosystem. So if you're an entrepreneur, you want to be the best entrepreneur you can be. Let us be a vessel in that process. If you've got a business and you want to help your business be the best it can be, let us be a vessel in that process. And if you care about the Black business community, if you care about the Black business ecosystem, right, and you want to make sure that Durham, North Carolina is the best place to start a business, and you want to be a part of that effort, join the Black Chamber. It's relatively inexpensive for small businesses. It's $125 a year. A chance to again have access to a lot of support. So yeah, I appreciate you giving that a shout out. We got about 350 members, and we try to really grow it organically. We want every member to
Mm-hmm.
get a benefit, and then to tag somebody else and bring them along as well. But yeah, I'm excited about the opportunity to lead this organization, and it's the gift that keeps giving.
Yeah, it is.
It
Definitely
is.
is. I'm a part of the chamber. I'm a vice chair of the chamber, and it's my experience and time with the chamber has been. I call it a slow burn, right? It's what we're talking about here today. It's the details. It's the capacity. It's the giving. It's the receiving. It's the growth. It's the growth versus complacency. Where are you? And we have quite a few events a year, every month,
Yes.
the whole year. There's no reason that I mean, if you can't make it to every event, that's cool too. But there's no reason that you won't bump into people, situations, great conversation that can help you advance and move forward. And that's what it's about. It's about the contribution of the individual self. Like CJ said, it's about working, paying attention to yourself, taking care of yourself, and understanding your capacity so you can be a contributor to the greater good, which is the support and the growth of your community. And that's what it boils down to, right? So it's awareness and being conscious of those types of things. So, keep an eye out for us. Go to gdbcc.org. If you're a small business owner, entrepreneur, founder, whatever word you work with, and you want to become better, go check us out and sign up. You will be definitely surprised and satisfied, right?
Yeah.
But also keep an eye on our events. Now, we do have some open events for our non-members, but most of our events are for members. But if you have any questions, you can find our email on that page. CJ, what's the email for them to email?
The THEGDBCC@gmail.com gets right to us.
There it is. There it is. If you guys got any questions, any thoughts, anything, definitely tap into the Greater Durham Black Chamber of Commerce for sure.
Absolutely.
Not to mention, we do have Black Business Month coming up in August, so we have a month full of presentations. What we have, CJ? We have online and we have in persons.
Yeah, online, in person. Yeah, excited for another outstanding Black Business Month. A lot of really cool things coming up. Probably start promoting them in a few days here. But then also a lot of really cool things happening in July. We got a new series that I'll be launching in a little bit here that I think I'm really excited about what it can do. One of the key words for us, one of the key opportunities for us, I think, in 2026 is just to increase the amount of collaboration we spur. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The amount of bridges we build amongst our members and their businesses and even entrepreneurs. So I'm excited about some things that I think will really enhance that.
Y'all have social media handles too, right?
Yeah, at the GDBCC. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me add you in there.
I know y'all got all the technology going, so I
What you got another fly about to pop up?
I know about to say he's about to do something that's magic, but
That's all I'm waiting on.
Yeah, I saw his eyes light up. Oh, okay, you got that. I saw it. Saw the spark.
Y'all are crazy. You know that?
He gonna whip it up. He gonna try to. Oh wait, okay, it's at the bottom there. Social media.
We can shift that around, but yep.
That's awesome.
Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, right?
And LinkedIn.
That's right. We talking about details. We talking about details. These things are planned at night. I look at my emails. I look at my phone log. Man, this guy's on the phone late at night. Temet, I see emails from Temet at 1 something in the morning, 3 something in the morning. CJ, same thing with you. Sometimes with me. I mean, so it's the planning and development is in the details, because the outcome for the people is what we want you guys to experience, or what we want them to experience, right? So I don't want to over pass by that, I should say, the details, right, of us giving these presentations and these events, so those founders, entrepreneurs, small business owners can receive the help, the support that they need. Now, here's the most important thing out of all of this. The question becomes, what are you going to do, or what are they going to do with these connections, these resources, and the support that they get? Are you just going to sit on them? Do you even know how to effectively utilize these resources that come your way? If you feel uncomfortable, or if they feel uncomfortable with conversation, okay, let's have a quick conversation, right? People go to these events, they feel nervous to talk, right? Which we all do. What's the easiest way to start a conversation of interest with somebody you absolutely have no idea who they are, but you're in the same room with them? So obviously there's there's some similarity why you're there. What's the easiest way, the best way, or a general way that works with opening a conversation?
Well, I had a friend share this with me, and when he told me that, I took it to go. But he says when you go in, he says you ask people, what's the biggest problem you're facing right now in your business or in life in general? You ask what's the biggest problem they're facing, they're gonna be like, well, and then it all comes out. And then you can see where you fit in to help be a solution to the problems that they're facing. Or if you
So
may
if they,
know somebody, you can refer them.
so if they ask you what, go ahead. See, I'm gonna let you say something first.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so what if they say, what do you do? Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, it's best to come from more of a humanistic side. I remember I used to go in just listen out all my titles when I worked and full time. And I was talking to this white guy and I asked him, so what do you do? And he was like, just this and that. Like he was just very vague. And I'm like, but what I realized he already saw with what I did and what he does, there wasn't no alignment. So he wasn't really trying to go any further in the conversation. But he didn't lay out any titles. There's a certain type of people, they're not laying out the titles of what they do. It's not about the title. It's I don't know, more about the impact.
Yeah,
So
that's a tactic. It's a tactic to lead
it
you
is
into, because the more curious you are, you're gonna ask questions, and that'll get you.
yeah. So it
That'll
doesn't
get
want
you
to be
to the
like
sale.
yeah. So I had to learn that one. I was like, oh, this is this little game y'all play where you don't really tell people what you do. You just kind of be like, yeah, I help people. I do some of this, nothing much. I said, oh. And it took me a minute to learn that little game. But I learned it. I get
I
it now.
Well, yeah, I learned in being in certain rooms. So to your point of that gentleman you ran across,
Yeah.
he's already been so high up that he already knew how to read you. So when you talk
Yeah.
about not needing everybody for deals or relationships or friendships or to make money, he knows the kind, right? It's like, what's the
Yeah.
saying we use? Real recognize real, right?
Yeah. I was a
See
little
what you're
green at
talking.
the time. So it probably showed because I'm just coming genuine, like, yeah, and these are some of the things that I do. And he was like, okay. So I'm like, well, what about you? And it's like, well, not too much. I'm like, oh, okay. Got it. Noted.
Yeah, I think one of the things for me when I go to like networking events or just general business events, um, what I tell my entrepreneurs to do is to be very, very clear, having spent a lot of time with themselves, on themselves and their businesses, to be very, very clear what they need and who they're looking for to provide what they need, right? So
Mm,
some folks to go into the room knowing, hey, I came here to sell, cheese to this mouse over here. Anybody seen the mouse? Like, I'm here for the mouse. Like, where is oh, there goes the mouse right there. Okay, cool. I'll be right back. You know what I mean? To go in
yeah.
laser focus with what they're trying to do, right? I think that, and so for me, I think, I like the what Temet said around trying to find out. One of the things that being one of the leaders in the chamber, we're a connector, right? And so we're always like, oh, you're looking for this, well, for this kind of person, well, across the room right there, that lady there, she does that thing. You got to talk to her before you leave. So I'm always trying to figure out like, how can I connect two people together? How can I bridge some gaps?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I typically will ask people like, who did you come here to meet? Like, what did you come here or what did you come
Mm.
here to sell? And
Yeah.
either help people meet that person or make that. So sometimes you're meeting the customer, and sometimes you're meeting the vendor. And so I like to figure out that. But sometimes people like to your point. Some people are like, you know what? I just heard they had good coffee here. So I just can't. I heard that this this caterer was doing the food, and I was like, man, I love them. You know, let me go get some of that food. So I try to always, you know, read the situation and figure out like what's going on.
I'm gonna take that to go. You said, who did you come here to meet? I really like that one. I'll add that in my
that's solid. That's solid.
Mm-hmm.
That's solid. Or another question is what are you looking to gain out of being here?
Yeah. I've asked like, what brought you here today? Like, what made you want to come? Out of all the places you could be, what made you want to come here?
Right, and there's a lot of surface answers for that. But you got to think about that question is really for them. Ask yourself that, right? Before you get asked that. Because when you get asked it, you need to answer.
Yeah, they do. Like, so what about you?
Right.
So,
I'm looking at it, you know. Whoever you're talking to, like, I came here to meet you.
There it is.
Pretty much.
That line sound a little playeristic there, my brother, but I got you though.
Yeah, it
that
playeristic. Southern playeristic.
International. What you mean?
Y'all funny. Southern playeristic. When I see you, I'm gonna say, don't be playeristic out there.
Look, now we good. We workers over here. You know what I mean? We workers, hard workers over here. But no, this is a good. This is good. We're gonna pay some more bills, and we're gonna slide out a few minutes early, only because we all have places to be and things to do.
Speaking of Southern playlistic, is there a DJ this evening? Or who's on the soundtrack? What's the soundtrack gonna look like this evening?
You the DJ.
Okay, I was just wondering. I was like, you know, who's on the Spotify? Like, what's the theme?
DJ?
You know,
you the DJ.
And it's gonna be Juneteenth vibes. And we'll also have some live music. And so we'll have a saxophonist and a singer.
Y'all fancy.
You got some finger foods popping on.
Yes, it's gonna be vibes. It's definitely gonna be a good time. But it's gonna be a celebration and just a check-in and say, hey, we got the rest of the year to go. We can't grow weary and well doing. And you know, when I think about when this first started, and I know we get ready to wrap up, but it was in the midst of COVID. And at that time, Black people was like so ready to be an entrepreneur. Like, I'm going to start my business. I started my business. And now I just feel like we've just kind of seen a decline in the energy around entrepreneurship in the Black community. And so hopefully this can get us reinvigorated and just excited again about the thought of creating, about the thought of taking control of our time and rising up to be the people who are responsible stewards of the gift that we've been given. So I'm excited for tonight. I can't wait to see you guys. It's gonna be cool.
Hold on, I'm about to add something here. Being as though we talking about it even more, please feel free to for those that haven't yet, feel free to scan our QR code and drop on by. Right?
Yes.
Drop on
haven't got your ticket yet. Get it now.
Yeah.
Get it
You don't want to be the person that says, I heard about that and I wasn't even there. Don't you hate that?
Yeah.
Like how many events you miss and you go, and people start drilling into you and you was like, I don't want to hear no more. I should have been there. I'll be there next year, but being there next year is not the same as this year. Well, and there's there's times that you miss those things, granted, because life happens or there might be something else that's going on, right? But for those that consciously, looked at it and decided that they weren't going to go and didn't have a reason not to go.
Yeah, and we're doing a pitch competition too. So we're giving away some money. You get an opportunity to get.
See, we're giving away a couple bucks.
Yeah.
It's a little gas money. You know what I mean?
Little seed money. You said
Look,
grass.
see, it's a gas money.
Oh, gas. I was like
Yeah,
grass.
gas. No,
Okay.
no grass. No grass over here. No grass. All gas. All gas, no brakes. You know what I mean? Don't forget us next Thursday is Founders Hour, 1 o'clock.
Yay!
Go
Great energy.
to check us out at Biz Therapy Coaching, all social media for the link, the sign up link. Go to the website, biztherapycoaching.com. Check us out there. And don't forget my convos with Hayward CPA every other Saturday. Not this Saturday, next Saturday. Yeah, we talk about some tax advisory, some goof off stuff, some little bit of jokes here, a little bit of what's in the news. We try to make sure that you guys are ready and complying every single quarter of the year as we approach, right? And then last but not least, don't forget to go to biztherapy.com, schedule your free consultation so you can figure out where you are in your business. What is your business health score? You go to the doctor, take some blood. We're gonna take our blood is questions. We're gonna ask you some questions, put together a score for you, see where you land in within the top 7 areas of your business, and then we move on to what solutions you need to get you wrapped up and on your journey of growth. Because it's not about the destination; it's always about the journey, right?
That's true.
And then also, last but not least, don't forget to check us out at the gdbcc.org, the Greater Durham Black Chamber of Commerce. You guys got any closeouts that you wanna reference to talk about here?
I got the growth check next Wednesday. And we're going to be really kind of reflecting on the middle of the year, what's been working, what hasn't worked, and what you're going to do differently to get the results you're looking for the next half. So if you need that mid-year check-in, you want to connect with other entrepreneurs to kind of talk through what's been challenges and how they've been working through it, that'll be a good space to be in. It's virtual, 12:30 via Zoom. It's free. It's on LinkedIn. And if we're connected, you'll definitely get an invite from me. And if not, shoot me a message.
Cool. See, you got anything? Words of wisdom for our people?
I just want to say thank you, man.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed hanging out with you all. I'm glad I had the time to hop
Yes.
in. And thank you all for all you do for our community. You know, looking forward to seeing you all tonight. I'm sure we'll talk some more. And if you see something needs to be done, you know, and you're like, man, I got to be in 3 places at the same time, I'll be there floating. So I'll be like, oh, see, man, I need you to go over here and do this thing. Go get a bucket of water from next door.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome.
No doubt,
Thank you so much.
no doubt. Hang on, we're gonna go to our outro right here. So hang on for a moment.
All right.